as we talked about it, our favorite part of the project became the Culinary Project, which is the ultimate project-based learning. Is a food truck built with the auto tech class, decorated by the art class. The IT is set up by the IT group. There's a lot that can happen there. You can have real-world feedback on Yelp when you sell food, and you can test your menus, you can test your recipes. So that was, we got caught up in that. We had a lot of fun with the food truck aspect of culinary. But it is just a part. That's the key here. Is it's as great as that is, it's just a small part of an overall holistic project-based learning environment that brings the real-world opportunities into the school.
We started with the premise that business is not what it was 30 years ago, where someone who was taking a business class was learning how to type. It's not learning Microsoft Office products. We wanted to take this to a completely different level, and it's more about entrepreneurship, about marketing, and how these things relate to whatever the student's passion is. If they're interested in fashion, it's the business of the fashion industry. If they're interested in cars, it's the business of cars.
You know, I think the bottom line for what we're talking about is that the modern agriculturist, the farmer, is a much more complicated person than they were a number of years ago. He has to be a businessman or businesswoman. He has to be a climatologist. He has to know geology. He has to be a person that knows marketing. There's a very broad definition of what a farmer is these days in agriculture. And he has to be skilled at all of those things that are much broader than what they used to be. So I think a broad education in science and economics and that sort of thing is what the goal is for the farmer these days. We drew just this 30-second sketch. This idea of collaboration, of working with groups instead of being that individual farmer, and understanding markets. So you could walk into the room and you could see the ticker tape go by and understand that your profits and such go up and down hourly in that business. And this whole idea of a connection to the outside. So it's a much more complicated life than it used to be in the simple days of the farmer.
And so then we took all of these things and tried to come up with what spaces or facilities might be needed, and we came up with several categories that we tried to flesh out, and we had the help of some really great photographs that you guys put together. So thanks for those. And so it's interesting because we all came up with the food truck idea. We had a lot of fun talking about it, and you know, of course, we've got the kitchen, the garden, maybe community garden, greenhouses, connection with ag, farm to table ideas, internships. So the garden doesn't necessarily need to be on site; it could be off site internships at other gardens and things like that. Dining spaces, a variety of different kinds: formal dining, informal. Maybe walk-up window, grab and go, point of sale, collaboration with business and marketing, you know, those sorts of things. What else? Kind of go fast. A tech lab that, you know, maybe you run the you know, TV program or a cooking show that, you know, you can make it competitive, make it fun, celebrate it, get the word out. But that could also be a demonstration kitchen or a test kitchen, or it could be a place where you record the lessons and the kids can watch that later, so like the flipped classroom idea. So the tech lab kind of made some sense there.
Or learning. A flower is composed of petals which fall and grow every season and is transformed. Basis and every technology and interdisciplinary activities throughout all the fields: artificial intelligence, biology, scientific research. So you go from flower to flower. The bees are pollinating all these fields, and this medical profession and this simple sculpture is not unified, is not defined, it is evolving. That is what we thought.